Welcome back, Truth Seeker. If you missed my preview video earlier, I showed why it was a clear read for the Warriors to beat the Cavs. It's very easy to predict basketball if you know Gematria. You know, in the last handful of days, I've done 4 basketball predictions. They've all been right, and you can do the exact same thing. I'm showing you how to make these calculations within minutes. But anyway, Warriors beat the Cavs, and I talked about the game's relationship to Martin Luther King Jr. So I'm going to show you how this score is a huge tribute to Martin Luther King Jr., and we're going to learn a whole lot more in the process. We're going to start right here with the losing score. The Cavs had 108 points. Remember, we talk about a lot in regards to the Warriors. In Gematria, Golden State Warriors equals 108. The word geometry equals 108 with the alphabetic order and the alphabetic order in reverse. This is a really special number. And with regards to geometry, remember, Steph Curry, their star player, has the Pi Day birthday. In the offseason, he got the richest contract in NBA history, 108 days from his birthday. Became the richest NBA player with his contract, which has already been surpassed. But it was no coincidence that it came 108 days from his March 14th birthday. That's Pi Day because pi is 3.14 like you learned about in geometry class. Also, with regards to geometry, another important idea is the Fibonacci sequence and phi, the golden ratio, which is 1.61. Last year, David West joined the Warriors for his first season with the team, and he got this brand new tattoo of the golden ratio plus a basketball inside it, but that's phi right there. That's the golden ratio, 1.61. Then the Warriors went 16-1 in the playoffs. It's the golden ratio right here. That 1.61 is how it begins, and that comes from this shape. 34 divided by 21 will get you there. The next number in the Fibonacci sequence is 55. 55 divided by 34 gets you to the golden ratio. The next number after 55 is 89. 89 divided by 55 gives you the golden ratio. This is the relationship between the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio. After 89 comes 144. 144 divided by 89 gives you the golden ratio. The next number in the Fibonacci sequence is 233. 233 divided by 144 gives you the golden ratio. And this goes on to infinity. That's why David West had this on his arm. That's why Warriors went 16-1 in the playoffs. And something else interesting is the Warriors are from Pennsylvania originally, from Philadelphia. The state abbreviated PA. P is the 16th letter, A is the first. 161 again. Remember the year the Warriors first beat the Cavs in the finals, Iguodala, who played with Philadelphia his whole career, was the MVP. So anyway, we're establishing the relevance of geometry, and now I'm going to tell you more about why geometry is 108. But first I want to give you this little deja vu. Game 1 of the NBA Finals, the first time the Warriors and Cavs played. That game went to overtime 98-98, 98 days after these two teams last played in the regular season. And that was the year I said the finals would be Cavs and Warriors, especially because of that game 98 days earlier on February 11th, 42nd day of the year. 42 retired with the Cavs and Warriors for Nate Thurmond. I can tell you more about his death, but let's just stay on track here. Game went to 98-98. 98 days after they played, National Basketball Association equals 98. Warriors ended up winning with 108 points. So, tonight's game, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, 118-108, combined 226 points, and we're always talking about this relationship with 226 and 93. 226 when written out equals 93, just like Martin Luther King Jr. equals 93, and there's a reason for this. Think about the February 26th, 226, 93 World Trade Center bombing. We're going to get to why that was. So it's all about this right here, Truth Seeker. In Jewish Gematria, the word planet equals 226. The planets to the ancients, and the ancients are who invented this code of letters and numbers. This is old world knowledge. The planets to the ancients were the sun and moon, and the 5 additional planets that were visible to the naked eye, standing from Earth. The most distant planet that you can see with the naked eye is the 6th planet from the sun, if you count Earth too. That's Saturn. Saturn, the 6th planet from the sun. Saturn is the only other planet that has a gematria of 93. The only other planet that has a relationship to 93, and this is old world way of seeing things, is the sun. The sun is 93 million miles away. We don't call the sun a planet anymore. We call it the closest star. But the ancients referred to it as a planet just like Saturn. You know, the old ancient mythology. The sun versus Saturn. Light versus darkness. Anyway, today's date. The date of this game, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, January 15th, 2018. Date with 54 numerology. The word sun equals 54. You see this? So we got this date with 54 numerology. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, who's associated with the number 93. The sun, 93 million miles away. And here's what you need to know. You can look this up. This is absolute fact. This is how they teach it in science. The diameter of the sun is 108 Earths. Okay? The diameter of the sun is 108 Earths. From the sun to the Earth is 108 suns. And from the moon to the Earth is 108 moons. You see that? This number is significant. This number is important in yoga, Buddhism, many things. And I want you to think about the numbers in the word geometry. A 1, a 0, an 8. If you write that out on a piece of paper, you're probably going to make a line for 1. There's a lot of lines in geometry class, as you recall. If you write a 0, it looks like a circle. There's a lot of circles in geometry class. We live in a world of cycles and circles. You know, this is a basketball game. You're shooting through the ball, circular ball, spherical ball, through the circular hoop. But notice an 8. An 8's like 2 circles, you know, just more circles. Lines and circles in the word geometry. Letters and numbers, mathematics based in sacred geometry. You see this? This is why they did this today. This is why they made the game come out to 226 points. Last year they had a rhyme with the game too. 126 to 91. Warriors won by 35. King James equals 35. King James playing on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. LeBron fell to 3-5 in the finals, losing to Durant and the Warriors. Durant wore the number 35. Also, the Warriors closed out the Cavs on June 12th, 12/6, like the Warriors winning with 126 last year. And I want you to see this. Last year was the 71st season of the NBA. There were a lot of 71 rituals last year, as we documented. If you write out 71, it sums to 126. Kind of like 12/6 for June 12th, the day the finals were won. And in Jewish Gematria, talked about this last year when the game ended, part of the reason I said it would end that day, Oakland equals 126. Golden State, 41, won the series 4-1. You know? You see this? First championship in Oakland since 71, if I'm not mistaken, too. Might want to go back and double check that, but I think that might very well have been the case. And that doesn't mean a team from Oakland won it. It means the championship was won in Oakland, like how Game 5 was won last year on June 12th. You see? So anyway, this game, few more notes. Again, 93, very special number in Black history. Tonight's game was tied 93-93. It sat on that score for a long time. The Cavs were stuck on 93 for a very long time. You know? If you missed my preview video, we were already talking about the significance of this number before this game. Also, as a reminder, Warriors, they had their 54-game winning streak at home at Oracle snapped. Remember? 54 games at Oracle. That same night, the Cavs won their 54th game of the regular season. It was the ESPN doubleheader. And I said that was another sign the Cavs would beat the Warriors that year in the finals. Guaranteed that would happen from before the season began. Then I guaranteed the Cavs would come back from 3-1 and win it on the widowed King James' birthday, which they did. That was LeBron's 13th season. King James made a king at age 13 months. King James became a Freemason at age 35. King James equals 35 in Gematria. Masonic language. Freemasonry created American basketball, along with American baseball, along with American football. The night that LeBron won Game 7 in Oracle Arena, they won it with 93 points, by the way. 93. And I still remember the Warriors lost with 89. King James 89. 89 chapters in the gospel. Religion equals 89. You know, there's a Bible in King James's name. The word number equals 89. It's all numbers. Numbers are God's language, geometry, sacred geometry. So last point, death. The score was 108 to 118. Tonight, the winning score for the Warriors, 118. The word death has gematria of 118. Prince died by the numbers after attending a Warriors Thunder game 49 days before his death. Warriors equals 49. They won that game 121 to 106 in the 106-foot-tall Oracle Arena. Getting tangential, but just want to remind you about this. Warriors won that game with Prince 121 to 106. 227 combined points, the 49th prime number. Warriors also 49. Prince died 49 days later. Prince said all we can go by in this world is prophecy. That was his quote. And I talked about that in relation to the Thunder losing with 106. Talked about that in connection to his death. And then lo and behold, they opened up his house as a museum on October 6th. After talking all year about Prince and prophecy. And what I showed about Prince that year was this. Prince Rogers Nelson, when you use the S exception, sums to 118. He had the numbers of death. Vanity died by this number. I predicted Prince's death the night Vanity died. A lot of people die in connection to this number. A lot of people. Martin Luther King Jr., murdered by the numbers. The only born American with a holiday in his honor, only because he was killed. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, death, all tributes in the numbers. 85 shots for the Warriors. That's low for them. Basketball equals 85. Golden State 41. They made 41 buckets. Cavaliers went 43-94. Martin Luther King Jr. gave his last speech on April 3rd, 4/3. He died April 4th, which is typically the 94th day of the year. He did die in a leap year. It's very possible that's the reason. Those are the stats tonight. We know everything about these games is scripted. Final score to box score. It's a puppet show out there. It's all done by this code. Don't overlook that God's Son is 93 either. Christianity was once torn over who's God's son? Is it a mortal man or the son in the sky? You know, Christianity equals 930. The New Testament begins with the 930th chapter of the Bible. If you missed the preview video, you better check that out. You know, makes this video make a lot more sense. Already talking about these numbers, why the Warriors would win tonight, why they'd pick up their 36th win in their 45th game on MLK Day. You know, the Warriors also got their 59th win in the regular season tonight against the Cavs. Negro 59, Slave 59, Blues 59. 59 is the 17th prime. Cavs picked up their 17th loss. Talked about all this in the preview. Ohio, the 17th state. NBA equals 17. Cavs 17th team to join the NBA. Big number. And they were named accordingly, by the way, for being the 17th team. They're called the Cavaliers, equaling 153. That's the 17th triangular number. You know? The reason why is this. God equals 17. Mason equals 17. Modern Masonry, 1717, the year it began. You know? They got their hands on everything that's controlling the world. Holy Bible, 153. The Bible, 153. You know? The Illuminati, 153. They love their prime numbers, 153. This is how they do it. Everything's with the code. You learn the code, you see how every single game's scripted. People always come here and argue in my videos. You know, they start saying it's impossible to script the game. They're arguing what they can't prove. They're arguing what they believe because of their cognitive dissonance. You take the time to do this research and you pay attention every single night, it's undeniable what is going on. Complete scripts. Undeniable. So I'll link all this down below. On my other channel, you got to subscribe to all the Zachary K. Hubbard channels. The reason I have 3 channels right now is because 2 of them have 2 strikes. The other one has 1 strike. They keep putting strikes. They've put me on my 11th channel since June of this year. So I have to shuffle between these channels so that all my videos don't get taken down at once. And all of you who are leaving comments like, I don't want to sub all your channels, I mean, why? It doesn't cost money to sub. It's free. And then you can know which videos pop up when I make them. You know, you guys, I don't want 3 different channels. That's what I have to do because they keep deleting my channel. I got somebody saying, I don't want to have to sub 3 of your channels. And it's not just him. I've heard multiple people write that. You know, it's like, why? What's the cost of, is it hurting your finger to click subscribe 3 times? Is it just too much? You know? I don't know what to do with people. Until next time, Truth Seeker.